Hi guys, Richard Winstone, the regulator guy here. I just wanted to give you an update on Ofgem's announcements today because there are loads. They do this quite a lot, so when they've got a price cap announcement, they'll make 4 or 5 other announcements as well because the media are less likely to pick up on them. So the price cap is in the media everywhere. We all know what's happening there. But 4 or 5 other things have happened today, or Ofgem have made decisions on, and they often fall into the background. So I want to give you an update on them as well. First of all, obviously, the price cap is coming down, so that's great news. The bulk of that, or more than the bulk of it, really, is in unit rates. So if you're a high usage household or even an average usage household, this should be beneficial for you if you're still on the standard variable tariff, which most of us are. Standing charges, however, are going up at the same time. So whilst unit rates are coming down by about £250 per year in this price cap from the 1st of April, standing charges will be going up by £30. So the net value is about a £220 decrease in the average usage household's bills on energy. It's worth pointing out, remember, this is still like 60%, give or take, higher than what our average energy bills were before the crisis. So we're not where we need to be. We're not where we should be. And if you guys follow me on Twitter or on Facebook, then you'll see the table I posted today should be up on the screen now that shows that from October 2021 to now, wholesale energy prices are only up £190, but our energy bills are over £400 higher. And the rest of that increase has been caused by Ofgem's decisions over the last 2 years. So that's why I do this consultancy work. That's why I've started the Regulator Guide. That's why I do these YouTube videos when consultations come out to try and get you guys involved in the consultations. Because Ofgem have been making decisions left, right, and centre that increase our energy bills incrementally. They've done 20 to 30 decisions over the last 2 years that increase our bills by £10 here, £20 there. And now our bills are hundreds of pounds higher than what they would have been. And Ofgem are the ones spouting, oh, we won't see our energy bills go back to as low as they were before the crisis. It's unlikely that will ever happen again. And they're not saying because we changed the price cap so dramatically over the last 2 years, but really that is what's happening. That's why I want to get everyone involved in the consultations to try and make sure that we stop Ofgem from doing these things, bring the public attention, the public eye to Ofgem's decision-making processes. So please do follow me on YouTube and make sure you're keeping up to date with the consultation videos as and when I do them. And we should be able to take back some control of our energy bills, hopefully. Right, the other announcements that were made today. So there was an announcement on levelisation. So levelisation is Ofgem's process of moving prepayment meter costs to being the same as direct debit costs. And I think that's a really important thing. It does mean a £10 increase per year for everyone that pays by direct debit. But it means a £40 decrease per year for everyone on prepayment. And that is literally levelising the costs now that they're equal. So prepayments have always paid more than people on direct debit, which doesn't make sense because the majority of people on prepayment meters are low-income households or people that have fallen behind and got energy debt and have had a prepayment meter force-fitted by their supplier. So they're levelising those costs from the 1st of April, and I think that makes sense, but it does mean a £10 increase, as I said, for those of us that pay by direct debit. They've added £28 to our bills for bad debt in the energy industry. So if you guys have been following me, you'll know that they consulted on bad debt related costs for the energy suppliers over the last 6 months. We fought hard to have no bad debt costs added to our bills. It doesn't make sense that people can't afford to pay their bills. So what they're going to do is increase our bills to cover the people not paying for their bills. It doesn't make sense to me, but that's what they're doing. I'm particularly frustrated by it because they're including all of the bad debt increase due to the ban on force-fitting prepayment meters. Now, this is just a scandal. This is terrible. Last year, you all would have heard that British Gas and a bunch of other energy suppliers were caught illegally force-fitting prepayment meters into the homes of vulnerable customers. That's obviously illegal, and Ofgem put in place a temporary ban on the process of force-fitting prepayment meters. Suppliers force fit those meters because, as a customer, your choices in the prepayment meter are you pay or you don't have gas and electric. You self-disconnect is the phrase they use when you don't pay to top up your meters and your energy goes off. So they do that so they can, every £10 you put on, they'll take £4 straight away as debt recovery. And where they were banned from doing that, the amount of debt in the industry increased. And Ofgem have given them more money to cover that debt as well, which means we're now paying for the ban on their illegal practices. They were doing something illegal, and we're now paying for it. And I think that's absolutely outrageous. And Ofgem's justification for this is that there are still investigations ongoing, and once they've concluded their investigations, they will then hand out punishments to the energy suppliers in the form of fines, most likely. But it's been over a year since this came out in the news, and the investigation is still ongoing. And now I'm going to start paying for that ban. We're going to start paying for that ban, but the energy suppliers aren't, and they're going to keep waiting and waiting for the Ofgem to do some investigation in the background, and we have no control over what they're going to fine the energy suppliers. The chances are we, as the consumers, will pay more for that ban being in place than the energy suppliers will do in their fines. I'll keep you updated on that as and when I know more about it, but I am pretty outraged by it. The other update was that they did a review on wholesale allowances. Now, there are 2 additional wholesale allowances on top of the actual wholesale energy cost. I was hoping they would remove one and bring our bills down slightly. Instead, Ofgem have said there isn't a big enough issue, that there wasn't too much divergence from the allowances to the actual costs. And so they're making no adjustment, which honestly, I'm just happy they're not increasing our bills again, which is kind of where the pessimistic side of me assumed they were going. So the other announcement that Ofgem made today is they've decided to extend the ban on acquisition-only tariffs. Now, an acquisition-only tariff is that's what it says on the tin. It is a tariff for acquiring customers only and not for returning customers or, if you will, current customers. So Ofgem have been banning the practice of energy suppliers offering cheap, great tariffs to new customers that aren't available to their own current customers. And the point of that is that a lot of suppliers do that to try and massively increase their customer base by acquiring all the other customers in the market. And we had an unstable energy supply market, and Ofgem wanted to stop that. So they said anything you offer to new customers, you have to offer to your current customers. There is no ban on them offering great tariffs to their current customers and not to new customers, which a lot of energy suppliers are doing at the moment to try and lock in their customers, because most of us are on standard variable tariffs or default tariffs, which means we're not in contract and we can leave at any minute. So they're offering a lot of fixed rate tariffs, they have been for the last 6 months, only to their customers to lock them in so that as the energy prices fall, we don't leave because we're locked into a contract and exit fees are £150, so it becomes not worth it to us. The ban on acquisition-only tariffs was meant to end at the end of March. It's going to stay in place until the end of March 2025 now, so for another 12 months. But they're going to consult on reducing that to just 6 months. They're going to talk to the energy suppliers about the possibility of reducing it to just 6 months. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing that they've extended it. I do think it's still putting a limit on competition, but hopefully with the removal of the market stabilisation charge, competition should slowly start seeping back into the energy market, and we should see some more switchable tariffs from April onwards. So I think Ofgem are maybe just being cautious, and rather than removing all of the barriers, they're removing one at a time, and that's probably sensible, ease ourselves back into a normal switching market. So we'll see how that goes from the 1st of April. Those are all of the updates at the moment. There is a consultation ongoing with Ofgem on the supplier of last resort levy offset. I'll do a proper video about that in the next week or two. So please make sure you're subscribed to the Regulator Guy on YouTube. You can follow me on TikTok, Twitter, Facebook. I'm just Richard Wintstone, but you can follow me there as well to keep up to date with all of the latest energy announcements.